Hello, baseball fans. Well, it's here. The month of September is finally here. I love the month of September. The color of the leaves change, and I say that even though I live in California, we don't really get real autumns out here. And some things begin, like new TV seasons, and some things end, like baseball. Yes, it is the pivotal month, the final full month of the regular season, and we're now in September 2nd. Happy Labor Day. So, beginning with today, there are 28 days and even 4 weeks left of the season. Seems like yesterday this crazy thing started. But, and as usual, there's a lot to decide, and the final 4 weeks will settle things. So, let's look at the postseason picture, shall we? Starting with the junior circuit, aka the American League. You know, it really feels good that unlike last September, I could talk about the Yankees in a relevant light here. Last September was a disaster for us. We were pretty much dead in the water. We played spoiler for most of the month. So, but this year is different. We have Juan Soto to thank for that, the addition of Juan Soto. And we're basically doing pretty well. There's just one thing, though. We need to get away from the Orioles. We really do. We can't seem to get away from them. Even when we're playing against teams we should kill, we should just destroy. Nothing. I mean, look at the last 3 series. Against the Rockies, the Nationals, Cardinals. 9 games. 4-5 record next stretch. That's not good. We're still in first place, though, but it's by half a game over the Orioles. The slipping Orioles. And there's too much time left. And here's the thing. We still have to wait another 3 weeks to face the Orioles. Our final series of the season against the O's is a 3-game set that will take place between September 24th and 26th. The penultimate series of each team season. So yeah, and that could be important, especially since the season series is Orioles 6, Yankees 4. Yankees have to sweep that series to get that head-to-head tiebreaker, which will help. It'll shave off it'll shave off one notch from the magic number, whatever it is. So there's that, but that's really the only overall Coast Division race in all of baseball. The Central's close, but there's more of a gap. Remember when the AL Central sucked? Now you got 3 teams who will most likely be in the postseason, but they're all jockeying for that division title. So yeah, the Guardians, Twins, and Royals, they're all jockeying for position. The Twins and Royals are in wild card positions, and it looks like they might be there for a while. As the Royals and Twins are ahead by 4.5 games over the Red Sox. And of course the AL West. Oh boy, Seattle, you had to mess it up, didn't you? I really thought it was going to be a good foregone conclusion that the Mariners would be on their way to take the division, but they just fell off, and now it's the Astros. Remember when they were down? Remember when the Astros were down and out early in the season? Good times, huh? Well, there they are in first place again, and it looks like they might win the West, so we're probably going to see them in October again. Well, at least that's one Texas team we'll see. The Rangers, I think they have that World Series hangover. Of course, when you win a championship, sometimes that's going to happen. But that's what's going on in the division standings. Now, the wild card is interesting. As I said before, the wild card's pretty interesting. Right now, it's the Orioles, Twins, and Royals with the 3 spots. But there's a bit of a gap between that last spot and the last team behind that, the first team behind that line. The Red Sox are behind the Royals and Twins, but it's by 4.5 games. Detroit's trying to creep up. They've been winning a few games. The Tigers are 5 games out. The Mariners are 5.5 games out. It kind of ends. It kind of ends there. There are other teams still alive, except for the White Sox, who have been eliminated for 2 weeks. Yeah, true story. The White Sox have been eliminated since August 17th. Can you believe that? But yeah, it's the wild card race is pretty interesting. And with that, let's look at the National League. The National League's kind of different. Like I said, the only overall close division race in baseball has to be in our division, the American League East. The National League's division races aren't really that close, especially the Central. That Central is the Brewers to lose, and it looks like the East is the Phillies to lose. Now the Dodgers have the Diamondbacks and Padres creeping after them, but there's still a big gap. There's still a pretty big gap. Really, the only close race in the National League that has to do with like the division leaders is between the division leaders. There are 2 games separating the division leaders, the Dodgers, Phillies, and Brewers, because the positioning is very important when it comes to finishing first place. Because now this is the 3rd year of that format. It's 6 playoff teams per league. The top 2 get byes, and of course the number 1 seed gets home field throughout at least the division series and the league championship series, and probably the World Series, depending on how things go. So you want that bye. You want that bye. You don't want to have to play that wild card series, which could kind of add a bit more fatigue should you advance. But yeah, you want to get that rest. Speaking of wild card, let's talk about that, shall we? Boy, is that wild card close, isn't it? So, right now, at the moment, it's the Diamondbacks, Padres, and Braves holding the wild card spots, but the Braves are only up by 1 game over the Mets. Yes, the Mets still have a shot, even though they've been up and down and all around for about a month. They were actually ahead of the line, and now they're a bit behind it, but they're trying to creep back up there. They swept the White Sox, who hasn't, and now there's still a game out. But that's not the real crazy thing. Guess who else kind of has a good chance? The Cubs. I didn't think the Cubs would have a shot. Now they almost made it last year, which is still shocking. But the Cubs are 3 games out. 3 games isn't a lot. That can be made up like that. So we'll see what happens with them. The Cardinals have a bit of an outside shot. They should be pretty happy as clams, considering what they did to us this past weekend. Yikes. But yeah, and the Giants once upon a time actually above the playoff line. They've been falling off a bit. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what this month brings us. It's going to be interesting. I love September, of course. You have baseball beginning to end, and you have football coming in. So it's going to be nice seeing the NFL's early games and Major League Baseball settling things as far as who's going to be playing for that commissioner's trophy. So that is a look at things entering the final 28 days of the season. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. My first story about the pennant races will be featured. It's for Vocal. Check it out when you can. And I'll be back hopefully Sunday night with another recap. And after that, a few days after that, I'm going to recap week 1 of the regular season in the NFL. So stay tuned.